Oh, that was a good song. This is the Saber Gamer channel here. I think this is my first time using my voice. Oh, bloody ads. 1 second. There we go. It's best to have some good music while I talk about this. In this video, I'll be going over the creatures that appeared the most in the top 10 community votes. Some people might have seen some of the patterns. There we go. Yeah, so our community creature votes. Alright, I put them into coloured categories. The reds stand for winners, so the creatures that have won their rightful vote. And then got the purple, which only appeared once, but then they got added by Studio WildCard. But then the blue, they appeared more than once, but then they got added as well by Studio WildCard. But then the green ones, in this video, we'll be talking about the creatures that appeared the most. But then, got another category where creatures only just appeared once. We'll give a few honorable mentions to them, but let's get on with this video. How many creatures were selected as top 10s? So far, there was 10 maps voted for since 2020 from Lost Island. But here are the results. There have been 10 maps in total with 10 creatures for each one. That's 100 slots for different creatures to appear. But there could only be one winner for each map. But there were 4 creatures that were added to the game, just down to how popular they were. But let's go over the winners. Dinopithecus, Desmodus, Rhinonapha, Phallosuchus, Gigantoraptor, the Yokai, the Shastasaurus, the Dreadnoughtus, the Megaraptor, and finally the Paleoctopus. But let's move on to the 4 creatures that won their rightful... They won... losing myself here. These 4 creatures were added to the game just down to how popular they were. Of course, we have got the Cinemacrops, which was added to Lost Island. Then you got the Cardontosaurus, that was added to all maps because it came second twice in the rankings. And then we got the Ceratosaurus, that was added from Garuga's Ark Editions creatures. And finally, we have the Bison, which has appeared in more votes than the last creatures I just mentioned. But we'll get to those in a bit. Let's move on to the next slideshow. Alright, what were the remaining creatures after the votes? Out of 100 slots of the 10 maps, only 69 creatures appeared in the top 10s. Of course, 10 won, 4 were added, so that leaves 55 creatures left. But only 12 creatures out of the remaining 55 appeared more than once in the votes. But here's the special mentions to the 43 creatures that only appeared once in the top 10s out of the 10 maps. I'm not going to read them all. Here's a few, and here's another, and here's the rest. Now, these creatures are pretty amazing. I have seen what they look like, and most of you have probably either been a part of the votes or just watched on the side. Now, let's move on to the next bit. Oh, here we go. Now, there are creatures that have appeared more than once. The Gorgonopsid appeared twice in the votes. The Bison appeared 4 times in the votes. The Yokai appeared twice. Rhinonafa appeared twice as well. The Gigantoraptor appeared twice. The Dreadnoughtus appeared twice. And as well as the Megaraptor and the Paleoctopus. All those creatures, they either won their rightful votes or they were added to the game anyway. Okay, let's move on. Okay, this was the total votes. So, with this, I'll be talking about the amount of votes the winners have had, and how many votes were voted for each creatures. Now, this isn't an accurate number chart. This is going down to how many times the creatures were voted for. So the 411,774 votes does not mean that's how many people voted. It just means how many times people voted for. Right. Now, here are the 4 creatures that were added to the game anyway. You got the Cinemacrops, the Nothosaurus, the Ceratosaurus, and the Bison. As you can see, with the Bison, it appeared 4 times. Well, I could go over which maps it appeared on, but you will see down in the votes where they appeared in. But I've narrowed it down to how many times the 12 creatures that appeared more than once. Now, this number, 137,427, those votes were at the base votes before the final round started, or the first round started. These aren't accurate, these are just enough. But then, this is the votes. These are the votes. Sorry. First time chatting online. Of course, going to get a few more mistakes down the line, but I'll take my time for a bit. This number, 261,353 votes. These are the highest. This is the most amount of times these creatures were voted for before they either got eliminated in the first round or second, third, fourth, and the list goes on. But the circles, they're pie charts. And with these pie charts, they'll be shown much, much later on in this video. But I'll probably do timestamps and all that. But one on the left is the stage 1. So the first round. But then, with the second chart, that will be at the very last round. So just before they either get eliminated or so on. Going to the next slide. Right. I wish I could pronounce these creatures, but I'll try my best. The Saivodus Shark. Now, this creature is a pretty cool creature. Good concept. I won't be going down to so many details about these creatures, but I'll go over some of the good ones. So, the Saivodus Shark appeared in the center map and the Genesis Part 1 map, which was actually the most recent one. As you can see, the total score is down below on the right. The base votes is 2,739. That was its base votes in the first round, but the column down, second one down, is the column where this creature got eliminated in. So this is how many votes it had before it got eliminated. A good amount of times this creature was voted for, but I'm afraid this is 12th place. But let's move on to the next slide. Alright, this is where the creature will sorry, just a bit nervous. Alright, the Saivodus Shark came these two places. It got 9th and 8th. So it rose up in the rankings. So, it is a good choice, but we've got another 11 to go. Nice to meet you, Saivodus Shark. Get plenty in comments now about me mispronouncing these names. Can't wait. Next page. Oh, here we go. Here's a good creature. The Tranystrophus. Right. This creature appeared on the Lost Island and Valgero. Alright. This is a very good concept of a creature. But as you can see, with the Lost Island, its votes did not change. That's because WildCard used a different type of votings. They didn't use a ranked vote like what they did with the current ones. This vote was basically an unfair vote because you can actually see which creatures were winning. So I'm gonna have to leave it like this. Because it didn't get eliminated like the ranked votes. But if the Lost Island map if they did a ranked vote, the votes would have changed. So this guy could have been either a lot higher or completely dead last. Let's move on. This is where it came to 10th place, but with Valgero it jumped all the way up to 6. It's not too bad of a creature. I can actually see this creature being added to Ark, but the next creatures that will show up will be like the strongest contenders. Let's move on. Okay, here is the prehistoric giraffe. I've seen this guy in a few of the votes. It is a good concept. I should be like talking about where I would see them spawn, like on the maps. But as you can see in the background, I kind of already pictured it myself. I just forgot to say. With the shark, of course, I can actually see it on Genesis Part 1, but sadly it didn't make it. it could spawn on any other maps that have ocean biomes, but that's a bit of a low score. With the same goes with the other guy. But this guy, the giraffe, the prehistoric one, I can see it spawn in the redwoods. It's in 10th place. Pretty cool. Someone's already made a mod of this guy. I haven't tried it out myself, but I've heard he's pretty good. This guy appeared in Fjorda and Ragnarok, which was actually the two best modded maps. But of course, I'm not going to go down every vote spear. But this guy, base votes 3,958, not too bad. But as I mentioned, there are some creatures with the base votes and the highest votes are the same, as you can see with Fjorda. That's because the creature was eliminated in the first round. Let's move on. Fjorda and Ragnarok. Sadly, it stayed in 10th, but then it rose up to 9th. So this creature could stand a chance, but I don't believe so. But I would like to see every Ark player prove me wrong. Okay, the giant stick insect, one of the most recent creatures in the creature votes. This guy I can definitely see being in the redwoods. Valguero and Genesis Part 1. Good concept. I love the design, but I can definitely see this creature rising up in the next votings if he appears in. Or she, of course. Ooh, look at that. He flies in. Actually, stick insects can fly. Valguero and Genesis Part 1. As you can see with the red circles, that's where they've been marked. Third, but sadly it dropped down to 4th in Genesis Part 1. But it has a strong lead so far in this ranking. But as you can see, there are some creatures that have been highlighted and some creatures have not. But I have mentioned this at the beginning of the video. But there are some creatures that have been marked and some creatures have not. But you can go back towards the beginning of the video if you want to find out what I mean. But, oh well, let's carry on. Oh, the Armadillosuchus. Here's another guy I can actually pronounce. 8th place. Pretty cool. Concept. He appeared on Fjorda and Scorched Earth, which hasn't been seen in a while throughout the votes. But some of these creatures are either recently in the votes or long ago past. But as we go through this video, there are some creatures, of course, that appeared more than twice in the votes. But we'll get to those guys in a bit. As you can see, I can picture this guy spawning on Scorched Earth. Or any type of desert on any of the maps. But sadly, the Armadillosuchus won on Scorched Earth, which is a great creature overall. But I could definitely see this guy being added. Alright, let's move on to see where he fits in the rankings. Boom. Fjorda. Scorched Earth. As you can see, he appeared in 5th place on Fjorda but then he dropped down to 8th on Scorched Earth. He might make a comeback in the next community votes, but we'll have to wait and see. Let's move on to 7th. Myotragus, the prehistoric goat, with its eyes on the front of its head. This would be a very interesting creature to look at. He appeared on Fjorda and the island. It'll be a fun creature to actually look at and ride on. But sadly, we've recently had the burrow bug added to the game. So this guy could be obsolete. But I wouldn't mind having a goat in Ark. We got a sheep, why not add a goat? Right, let's move on to where he is in the rankings. Fjorda and the island. But sadly, as you can see, he's only appeared in 8th place twice, so he hasn't moved throughout these rankings. But it doesn't mean people don't want him. He appeared more than twice. Well, no, more than once. So people do want him. It's just in 6th place, this is where the creatures appeared more than twice. Let's move on. The Nothosaurus. Now this is a creature I would love to be in the game. 6th place. Oh, I literally watched Camp Cretaceous, and seeing this guy in it, oh, it makes me want to have him so he can eat all the dillos. Oh, I'm sounding so evil. Oh, this guy appeared on the island, Ragnarok, and the center. Now, as you can see, this is where the votes start to jump up. He's appeared 3 times in the 10 votes so far, and he's got a good strong hold on the amount of times players voted for him. Let's move on. Bingo. I can actually see this guy spawning on riverbanks. And in some of the maps, like the island or Lost Island. But as you can see, he was voted for on the island, Ragnarok, and the center. But as you can see, he started rising. Right. He came in 7th on the island, but then he rose up to 5th on Ragnarok, and he's gone straight to 3rd on the center. Now this is a creature that has a strong chance of being added to the game. Right, let's move on. Oh, the Quetzal's cousin. Don't mind the photo. Oh, Hatzegopteryx. Now this is a creature that most of the players wanted in this game, and I'm actually one of them. He appeared on the island, the center, and extinction. But as you can see with the votes, he has a strong contender for being one of the top's most voted creatures for this community votes. I can actually see this guy being a more aggressive flyer than the Quetzal. The Quetzal could be the most passive tame you can have, but as it's getting a TLC, I don't think the Quetzal's evil cousin will make it into the next top 10s, but there's a good chance he might. Let's move on. He flies in. So here he is on the island, the center, and extinction. As you can see, on the island, he appeared second, just losing to the Rhinoanapha. But then he dropped down a bit on the center map to 6th place, but he rose back up to on 3rd place, well, in 3rd place on Extinction. That's why I picked that map. Oh, here we go. Arachnophobia. Anybody who has it can skip the video to the next slot. This is your final warning. This is the jumping spider. Boing. The spiders come jumping in and he swings in. Now, the jumping spider appeared on Scorched Earth, Aberration and Extinction. This is a very good contender to be added to the game. Oh, let's move on. Alright. Whee! So he appears Scorched Earth, Aberration and Extinction. But, as you can clearly see, he appeared in 3rd place on Scorched Earth, but he appeared second twice on Aberration and Extinction. I feel like Aberration, there's a massive controversy about this, because the jumping spider should have won, but he didn't. Why would people want the yokai? I know. That's not its name in the game, it's called Yeeling, but I still prefer yokai. Sounds cooler. But this creature, the jumping spider, should be added to the game. I know the Rhinoanapha, I know the Arano spider had its recent TLC remaster. But what if the jumping spider could be similar to the unicorn, where it's a rare creature, a rare spawn, but it is breedable? That would be amazing. Alright, let's move on. Alright, we got another bug, but the spider was an arachnid. But of course we had the big giant stick insect. Right. This guy appeared, of course, in 3 maps. I can actually see this guy spawning in the redwoods. He appeared in Fjorda, the island, and Scorched Earth. He also has got a strong contender with the most votes, but of course the jumping spider and the Hatzegopteryx had the most votes so far, if people have been keeping up with this. Right, let's move on. Come on, there we go, slide in. Fjorda, the island, Scorched Earth. But sadly, as you can see, he came in 8th on Fjorda, but he rose up to 4th on the island, but he dropped back to 5th with Scorched Earth. This creature has a good chance of being added to the game. Its uniqueness gives it that edge. Now, we reached our final 2. Can anyone guess what creatures are coming up next? No? Alright. Let's go to the fastest creature. The fastest creature's cousin. The cheetah. But as you can see, there's 2 names up here. Because there were 2 similar species. One was north, one was south. But I'm counting them both. Oh, Blanken, you missed it. The island. Ragnarok. The center. Valgero. This cheetah has had the speed to keep up with 4 maps so far. Let's see where it places in the rankings. Right, blink and you miss it again. The island, Ragnarok, the center, Valgaro. But as you can see, this is where it's been placed. For the island, it's 8th, but then it jumped all the way up to 2nd. But it lost a bit of stamina and went back to 5th. But then it rose back up to 2nd on Valgaro. Oh, this is another good creature that could be added to the game. The fastest creature on the island, or any of the maps. You won't be able to outrun it. Oh, that is a scary feeling. It's faster than the Ceratosaurus. Wow. That would be awesome. But let's move on to our winner. Well, I say it's the winner because it appeared on the most maps. Let's go. Oh, the Gorgonopsid. An underrated creature. Oh, beautiful. Actually, this picture down on the left was actually an original concept. So this creature was supposed to be added to the game, but wasn't. And it's made me a bit upset. But let's go. The Gorgonops. The island. Lost Island. Scorched Earth. Ragnarok. Extinction. This guy's not giving up. Everybody wants this creature to come to Ark. He's appeared in five community maps. Well, community votes. Out of 10. Right. Let's move on. Okay. Lost Island. The Island. Scorched Earth. Ragnarok. And Extinction. As you can see, he hasn't been voted for as much as in the individual lists. As you can see here, with the Lost Island, he came in 8th. But on the island, he rose up to 6th. But then Scorched Earth, he dropped down to 9th. But then he rose back up on 7th for Ragnarok. And he rose back up again for Extinction. This creature is not giving up. Players want this creature in the game. WildCard, please just add this creature to the game. Let's move on. Now, this is where the pie charts come in. As you can see, I colored code these creatures. The first 12 creatures that have appeared more than once, twice, 3, and 4 times. Well, let's move on. As you can see, here are the numbers with the previous slideshow I did at the beginning of this video. And here we go. As you can see, the Nothosaurus, the Hatzegopteryx, the jumping spider, the Bastion Beetle, the cheetah, and the Gorgonops have got the most after this chart. The most votes. Now, let's see who had the most votes before they got eliminated. As you can see, the top 6 haven't changed. So these 6 creatures, have a strong chance of being added to the game. And it would make my day if all of them were added. Let's move on. Now let's talk about the next creature vote, Genesis Part 2. We've had Lost Island, Fjorda, The Island, Scorched Earth, Ragnarok, Aberration, The Center, Extinction, Valgero, and finally Genesis Part 1. As you can see, this is all the creatures that have ever been appeared in these votes. Some of your favourites are here. Sorry if I didn't give them an honourable mention, but let's go through the top 6 creatures that have had the most votes. The the Quetzal's evil cousin, the jumping spider, the cheetah, the Gorgonopsid, the Nothosaurus, and finally the Bastion Beetle. All these creatures deserve to be a part of Ark, but they could only be added by either a creature winner vote for Genesis Part 2, or they get added to the game anyway by Studio WildCard. WildCard, if you see this video, please have a look. I would love any of these 6 creatures being added to the game. It would be amazing and it would make my day. So, this is my first video. I'm going to end it here. I hope everyone has enjoyed this. Leave comments down below what creatures you want to be a part of Ark. And I'm going to play Genesis Part 2 right now. And I will hopefully be back soon with a brand new video, a brand new topic, but we'll see how it goes. My name is the Saber Gamer, and I will continue to survive with all you players out there who love Ark as much as me. Of course, ads. There we go. Enjoy the theme of Genesis Part 2. Just turn it up a bit more. Enjoy. Survive out there and fight all those bosses. You know what? I would love for all these creatures to be a part of this game. I would love them all to be a part of it.
Enough! This ends now! Your survival ends here!
I'm sorry, Rockwell. It's just the beginning.